him with a pinch hitter, and the scammy was a quitter. So the cops usually tournament. With him I was saying, you can't let the umpires hear you speaking battle like the other kid, you won't be playing. Cause they'll beat you till your ass drop. A walking gun with a shell in his hand is their mascot. When you run around, let it be noticed, step lightly. The bases are loaded, my man got out from 3 strikes. In the skull, but the knife he was carrying was dull. Instead of innings, we have endings. What a fine way to win things. And hot dog vendors have fun selling you the cat, rat, and dog on a bun. And when you ask what is all of this called, it's just a friendly game of baseball.
Say what's happening, world. It's AJ here once again. Here at Sports, Music, and Health, the podcast that feeds you, keeps you full throughout the week. Don't forget, like and subscribe my channel. I love the participation I've had so far, man. I appreciate y'all. Man, this is my, basically doing this podcast thing, this is my Saul Paul moment, you feel me? So, if you know the word of God, man, check out that story. You'll understand it. I've had my blind for 3 days type moment, man, metaphorically speaking, you know what I'm saying? So, all right, let's get into it, man. As y'all can see, the paraphernalia, and in one of my last videos, I had all Braves paraphernalia on, the greats that I saw on the wall, the greats that you see here, my boy Hammer and Hank, Prime Time, and Satchel Paige. This is a 1968 Brave jersey. So I'm a baseball historian, ball player, still elite. Well, I hadn't played baseball itself in the last 4 years, but I've been killing it with softball. Still a monster. Still will go out and dominate. This year, still dominate. Still dominate. I got receipts. I can't wait to post them. But anyway, let's get to this baseball thing. So, I grew up in that era. Everybody know about it, the steroid era. And old first 48 ass Jose Canseco snitching on everybody. Don't nobody fuck with him. But anyway, that was still the best time to watch baseball with me growing up and being able to study the history of baseball itself. So with me being a ball player, myself playing high school, college, being to numerous pro tryouts, playing sandlot ball, playing rec ball, just going all around throughout the country playing ball. It's one of the thing that I've enjoyed most was base stealing. That was one of my greatest strengths, along with my stick and my defense. So I learned a lot with base stealing from my man Ricky Henderson. That first step he had was the coldest of all time. It's a reason why he leads Major League Baseball in history, and nobody's gonna catch him with the amount of stolen bases he's had. Nobody's gonna reach over 1,000 stolen bases ever again. I don't believe it. The man was just cold, and when he hits a home run, he does all. If you watch Ricky Henderson, you'll know what I'm talking about. When he get done hitting a home run, he doing everything. I love the antics, but his craft, that's what I appreciated the most about Ricky. And I applied a lot of legends and their how they approach the game. I applied a lot of that to how I played and how I approach the game. So I'll start with my top 4 of all time. There is no greater player that the game has ever seen than Barry Bonds, hands down. Y'all can call the steroid shit. Y'all, man, that man was acquitted. Y'all see, OJ was acquitted, Michael Jackson was acquitted, so was Barry Bonds. And all I keep hearing was the size of his head. Hey, man, if you drink enough Capri Suns and Tampico and great drink, your head will swell up too. Leave that man alone, man. His total, he almost had a 300 batting average, but that's besides the point. 298 is excellent for 22 years. 762 home runs. Just 65 hits away from 3,000. This man had, I believe it was approximately 337. He was 337 walks away from matching the amount of hits he had for his career. Think about that. Think about how scared those pitchers was to face him. And he goes on interviews and talks about it to this day, how he approached every pitcher. And I did the same thing when I was playing ball. When I got up to the plate, it was me and the pitcher. I wasn't worrying about anything or anybody. So yeah, he said in a recent interview, I may have lined out to the second baseman, but as far as that pitcher is concerned, I beat you. You didn't strike me out. I didn't pop up or hit a foul ball and somebody caught it. I squared it up and one of your goons got me. Barry Bonds' word. But Barry's the coldest that ever did it, 7-time MVP. It ain't many 7-time. How many in any sport? Any athlete in any sport, how many players have won 7 MVPs? I can only think of maybe Wayne Gretzky in hockey. That's about it. But Barry's the coldest I ever seen in my life. Number 2, I got Hammer Hank. For obvious reasons. That man, 305 batting average, 755 home runs, 2,297 RBIs. Nobody else has 2,000 RBIs. He played 24 years. Dominated those 24 years with our Atlanta Braves and the Milwaukee Braves. And he was a pillar in the community out here in Georgia, period. Just all around Georgia. Definitely Atlanta, but all around Georgia. And I met Hank. Solid, down to earth. He wasn't gonna play you short either. He was gonna shoot you straight. So may his soul rest in paradise. I love everything he brought to the game. And his approach to the game, I mean, I enjoyed it in the aspect of how he came up and just saw pitchers as a piece of meat. And that's what I saw him as too. And he always worked out his wrists and his forearms. That's where a lot of his power came from. So I remember somebody telling me that I had the wrist strength, kind of like Hank Aaron. And being young, when you hear that, that'll boost your head up a little bit, and that kind of stuck with me. But I lost the bottom half. I wasn't paying attention to my lower half, the power that I could have had back then. I stayed getting singles, doubles, triples, but I probably could have had more power, the power that I have today, if I would have used my legs the way and my whole trunk and legs like Barry Bonds did, like Ken Griffey Jr. did. Sweetest swing ever. And he's in my top 5, Ken Griffey Jr. But Hammer and Hank, salute to you, man. You definitely influenced my game more than you know. Number 3 on my list is Willie Mays. Willie Mays missed 1 whole year to go hop in the military. And the man still came back and dominated. And maybe I think his last 4 years, he didn't play as much because I guess the military service and the wine, the grind, the prejudice of the game started to get to him those last 4 years. He went from San Francisco to the Giants, but he batted .301 for a whole career with 660 home runs. So picture if he would have had that military year and played those last 4 seasons. He probably would have the records that Hank and Barry had. And he had 1,903 RBI, so he was 97 away from 2,000. Barry Bonds was 1935. That's called being clutch. RBIs, runs batted in, for those who don't know baseball jargon. So, and with Willie, he definitely influenced me defensively. He's the greatest defensive outfielder of all time. There's no question about that. Everybody has saw the catch over the shoulder that he made. You can't do it no better than that. The technique, damn near perfect. The throw back in, spectacular. So, Willie, Say Hey, I watched that documentary. I loved every bit of it. I'll sit here and watch baseball history documentaries, old games. Call it boring all you want. I love it. I've been to the Negro League Baseball Museum. I loved every part of it. I see where the movie Life can't get right from. I see where they can't get right from. Man, when I tell you I hollered and was rolling on the floor when I saw that dude do everything can't get right with doing. Bernie Mac, rest in peace, bro. You killed it. Fire! That's my shit. But back to Say Hey. And that was definitely one of my pop's favorite players too. So salute to Say Hey Willie Mays, man. And definitely, basically, the best players we have ever seen have been brothers. And brothers have influenced baseball more than any other culture. Man, we've influenced everything. I don't even know why I'm singling it out to baseball. Well, we talking about baseball. But I'll go on to Ken Griffey Jr. He influenced this whole generation. If it wasn't for injuries, Ken Griffey Jr. would probably hold some of those long records as well. He still, even though he missed, I believe, maybe 3 or 4 solid years of his career, he still finished with over 600 home runs. I think it was 609. And right behind Willie Mays, he's the second greatest defensive outfielder I've ever seen. So I appreciate Griffey and his influence and everything that he's doing today for the kids. And I appreciate your influence. Now, to go where I borrowed a lot of uh my game and my steeds from, it was definitely a Hammer and Hank, but I got a lot of my stance and the way I threw my hands from Manny Ramirez and some of my antics. Yeah, I was a motherfucker as a younger man. I ain't even gonna lie about that, man. So when I when I did play college baseball, that was my first time being around people that looked just like me. You know what I'm saying? And it was because I was always the one black guy, but you earn respect when you go out there and dominate. But when I went to the HBCU I went to, Albany State, showed me something else. I learned a lot while I was there. It was some lessons learned, and I appreciate those lessons now and then. You know, in the middle of them, you don't always appreciate them, but you do not. I do now. But Hank Aaron, Manny Ramirez. Now Manny Ramirez, he had his antics, but everybody know he was clutch. Can't stand the Red Sox or the Yankees. Those are the Yankees are definitely the team that's on the bottom of the barrel for me. That man, 20. I would say 20 of y'all 26 World Series. Man, the gangsters got y'all them, man. But it is what it is. I'm happy with the 4 my squad got. Let's go. If we can stay healthy this year, we're gonna get another. So, but the Dodgers, boy, oh my God, you talking about throwing money at championships? Can't get mad at it. But those guys stealing bases. Just now, let's go to what most folks admire when it comes to baseball: hitting home runs. Yeah, it's beautiful. I didn't hit my first home run in a game till I was 23, and that was one of the greatest feelings ever. I've had a 3 home run game just 9 years ago playing baseball, 3 home runs, and that's very hard to do. But that was one of the greatest games of my life, and this was against elite pitching as well, so it wasn't a fluke. But when it comes to just pure hitting, everybody loves home runs, but pure hitting is something that I have admired forever. Pure hitting, Barry Bonds got that too. Like I said before, if pitchers don't want no parts of you, they don't want no smoke. They'd rather walk you with the bases loaded. That is more respect than Hack a Shack. That man was that cold. But when it comes to pure hitting, I'm not talking about just home run hitting. I'm talking about clutch hitting, getting on base, finding the holes, hitting it oppo whenever they want to. The 2 guys that I would say is the greatest pure hitters of all time is Tony Gwynn and Ichiro Suzuki. Tony Gwynn, God rest his soul. He was an outfielder before he went to second base, but he was always a clutch killer hitter. Our greatest of all time pitchers that have pitched for the Braves: Greg Maddux, John Smoltz, Tom Glavine. The 2 hitters that they got sick of facing and couldn't do nothing with was Barry Bonds and Tony Gwynn. Tony Gwynn, I believe, had over 400 at bats, at least over 300 at bats against Glavine, Smoltz, and Maddux. That man only struck out 3 times. I've never heard one player doing that to 3 Hall of Fame pitchers. Now I've heard. Now we're gonna touch the pitchers in just a second. But pure hitting, the way Tony Gwynn found holes, if they act, because that shift stuff is started a decade ago here. Tony Gwynn still would have hit 330 with the shift. You can't shift with somebody that's a pure hitter. He's not gonna swing. You're not gonna force him to swing at a ball he don't want. That's what I admired about Tony Gwynn. And even though Ichiro was unorthodox, it was potent, and he got the job done. And he had one of the strongest outfield arms of all time as well. Him, Bo Jackson, even Yasiel Puig. I wish he would have lasted a little bit longer, but he had a cannon. Yoenis Cespedes, cannon. Griffey had a cannon. Andrew Jones, boy from the Braves, Curacao. Let's go. Cannon. He definitely was. I believe Andrew Jones was our greatest defensive outfielder ever. Him and Otis Nixon. I love Otis. Shout out to you, Otis. Keep doing your thing out there at Truist Park. Let me see. Pure hitting. Ichiro. Tony Gwynn. What's my man name? Rod Carew. Rod Carew was a pure hitter. I just love those guys that were clutch and had nicknames when it came to the postseason. Y'all know Mr. October. I ain't even got to say nothing about Reggie Jackson. Who else? And even the ones that hit with some of the greats that weren't appreciated. Willie McCovey. Willie McCovey and Bobby Bonds, yes, Barry's pops, played with Willie Mays. What you gonna do with those guys hitting 3, 4, and 5? Ain't too much you can do. You can go cry in the car when the game over, but you ain't doing too much with them. Right hand pure hitters of my generation, Albert Pujols. Can't ever forget about Albert. He's reached 700 home runs. He's definitely one of the, if not the after Ken Griffey Jr., he probably carried the torch as the greatest player of the 2000s. Pure hitter, MVPs, championships, Albert Pujols. Salute to you. Puerto Rican Power King, man. I love it. I was always, anytime the Cardinals and the Braves played, I was sick of it in the 2000s. Because we couldn't do nothing with them then. We get to either the wild card or second round, but if we end up facing the Cardinals, it was a wrap. So, appreciate you going to Anaheim, player. And let me see. No, oh yeah, let's go to the pitchers. Coldest pitchers I've ever seen. Even those guys that I've mentioned, the greats, they didn't want nan parts of Bob Gibson. Bob Gibson was a monster. He threw complete games out the yin yang. Everybody on ramen noodles these days, man, and the managers don't want these guys throwing complete games like that. That's why I appreciate somebody like Yamamoto and Dave Roberts. I can appreciate what they did. They say that was abuse. No, that's elite killer mentality. That man wanted to finish the game and the manager let him. I remember in our 2021 World Series, I don't think they got Ian Anderson. Been right ever since Schnitker ass took him out of that World Series game where he was throwing a no-hitter. That'll mess with you mentally, man. When you know nobody can do nothing with you and your manager, your coach don't believe in you, that hit different. But Bob Gibson, even Hank and Dusty Baker talk about Bob Gibson and how he look at you a certain way, tell you what he gonna throw, and you still can't hit it. What can you do about that? Him and Satchel Paige, which is the jersey that I have. Now, this jersey is significant. That's because bum-ass New York Yankees, Satchel Paige wanted to get his pension. He wanted to retire. Yankees wasn't paying. Guess who picked him up and paid? My boy. These Braves. So number 65, that represents Satchel Paige. And he was an assassin in his own right. He'll tell you what he's throwing to, and you ain't gonna do nothing with it. And then call you ugly after that. That's my kind of guy. I'm gonna talk shit when I'm on that field. Ain't nothing like it. It's my pleasure. Word to John Witherspoon. Rest in paradise, too, OG. But hey, man, I could sit here and talk about baseball all day, man. So I appreciate y'all attention. I hope I taught y'all something. And if y'all ain't learned nothing else from this, know that there's this certain verb. It's called passion. And that's what I'm gonna forever have when it comes to baseball. So to this day, man, I know for a fact I can hit major league pitching. I know it. So I'll say some name. Max Fried, I'll wear your ass out. Throw that hook if you want to. There's certain pitches. Like, come on, man. I watch the movement. Ain't nothing like watching the movement in person. But you can see it on TV if you really know the game and love the game. There's certain guys I know I rake. Fried is one of them. Now, I would need to get back into swinging things and see 100 miles an hour to get back used to it. I ain't no fool. But give me that. If I ever had that chance, I'd love to take BP against some of these pro pitchers. Don't nobody got to believe it but me. And I do. Sports, music, health. We out. God bless y'all. Enjoy y'all Sunday. Don't forget, like, comment, and subscribe. Love y'all. Don't forget, love your mama. Dap up your pops. Get free game from your grandma and your grandpa. Wash your breath. Love on your people and don't gatekeep. 100.